So I'm going to hurt some feelings now. So don't watch this video if you don't want feelings hurt. Video is about the anti-Zionist attitudes in Satmar, Neturei Karta, Peleg, the Sikariim, and other such factions in the so-called ultra-orthodox world. I'm going to lead up with the point right up the bat. These people are not ultra-orthodox anything. These people are not worthy of respect or consideration as anything. In terms, they are not an ideal of religion. They're not religious Jews. They don't represent what religious Jews should be, and you should not consider them to be religious or trustworthy in terms of any kind of religious as outlook or anything. The founder of Satmar, Yoel Titelbaum, is held up by entirely too many people outside of the Satmar community as some sort of Talmid Chacham or tzaddik or great person. He was not a great person. He was not a tzaddik, and he was not a Talmid Chacham. He was a selfish hypocrite who deserves to be condemned utterly. How do we said, how do I dare say such a thing? I'll tell you exactly how I dare to say such a thing. He, in pre-war Hungary, knew what was happening. And by the 1940s, it was absolutely clear what was going to happen to all Jews in Europe. The Holocaust was in full swing. Many Jews in Hungary had the opportunity to leave with the help of the Zionists and other agencies in Hungary. They had the opportunity to escape from the destruction of Europe. He encouraged his followers and fellow travelers that they should not leave Hungary under any circumstances, and especially they shouldn't take advantage of anything from the Zionist movement. And he condemned it vigorously, and many thousands of his followers who might otherwise have escaped from Europe went to their deaths because they listened to him rather than escape. And what did he do himself when it was obvious and apparent that there was no escape for the Jews of Hungary? Who did he turn to save his own skin? The Zionists. He left Hungary on Kastner's train, taking a seat with a person that he spent his life condemning and told his followers not to work with. He saved himself, but all of his followers who listened to him died. That's hypocrisy. That's shameful. He took the Zionists to save himself. How could he save himself? By the same agency that he told his followers not to use. And this is a Talmid Chacham. This is a tzaddik. This is someone we're supposed to hold up to respect? No. This is a person who indirectly caused the deaths of thousands of people who might otherwise have lived. And he himself took advantage of that which he told his followers was forbidden. That is the hypocrisy and shame and disgrace of the worst sort. And his followers and fellow travelers to this day have the same pernicious philosophy and despicable attitude. They pray for the destruction of Israel. They make common cause with our enemies like the PLO, the Iranians, Hamas. What do they think is going to happen? Do they think that by kissing the asses of those who would destroy us, that somehow they'll get to live as the pet Jews under the tyranny of those who would kill us? How could they make common cause with people who want us dead? How could they pray for the destruction of the state of Israel when that destruction would inevitably mean the deaths of millions of Jewish people? What kind of an attitude is that? How are we supposed to hold these people up as righteous, as the paragons of religion, when they pray for the deaths of our people? No, this is not good. This is not righteous. This is not saintly. This is evil. And we must call evil, evil where it stands. We must not be afraid because they look and they dress and they act holier than thou. That means they are not holy. Doesn't mean that they actually are holy. No, they are unholy. It's an unholy philosophy that makes unholy alliances with those who would kill us. And anyone who would stand with my enemies is therefore an enemy of mine and deserves no respect and no worthiness and no consideration. And anybody who is outside of their community should turn their back on these people and ignore them and shun them for the evildoers and Rishaim and wicked people that they are. This goes for them, for Satmar, for Neturei Karta, for Peleg, for the Sikariim and the other factions who are violently anti-Zionist and violently anti-state and make common cause with our enemies. These are the same people who rioted in the streets in Mea Shearim recently and set fires that got out of hand. And then when the firemen showed up to try to put the fires that they set out, they threw rocks at the firemen the entire time while they were trying to save Mea Shearim and their own buildings from being burnt down. They put our people actively at risk. They have put Jewish lives at risk by lighting fires. They put Jewish lives at risk by making common cause with our enemy. They put Jewish lives at risk by making their extraordinary and psychotic anti-Zionist statements. And this is not worthy of respect. And this just be condemned. And we must call this out for what it is. It is evil. That is it. Period. Evil. There is no redemption for people who come to call for make common cause and put with those who would destroy us and put the lives of our people at risk. That is it, and we must not stand for it.